The city of Paris shimmered that evening, bathed in golden light and the echo of camera flashes. The CELINE runway had just ended, but the atmosphere around the venue was still electric, a strange mixture of high-fashion glamour and genuine human emotion. Fans were pressed against barricades, waving light sticks and banners, chanting two names that have been intertwined for more than a decade: Kim Taehyung and Jungkook. Inside, the after-show chaos was still unfolding. Designers, celebrities, and media figures mingled under the glittering chandeliers. Yet amid the noise and elegance, something much deeper was about to happen. When Taehyung stepped out from backstage, dressed in a sleek black CELINE ensemble that perfectly highlighted his sculpted silhouette, the crowd roared. Every step he took was filled with the effortless grace of someone who belonged to the world's grandest stages, yet his eyes searched the room for something familiar. For someone. And then, there he was. Jungkook stood near the end of the hallway, still wearing his CELINE jacket from the show, his hair tousled from the chaos of the event, his gaze soft but unsteady. The moment their eyes met, the noise of the crowd seemed to fade. It wasn't just two global stars meeting, it was two souls reconnecting after a storm of time, distance, and silent longing. For months, fans had been wondering if the bond between Taehyung and Jungkook, affectionately known by ARMY as the Taekook connection, had drifted apart. They had been pursuing solo paths, appearing in separate events, and exploring their individual artistry. While there were no official statements, the silence between them was enough to send the fandom into waves of speculation. But in that moment, that split second where Jungkook walked toward Taehyung, the world remembered what made BTS not just a group, but a brotherhood. Jungkook extended his arms slightly, almost hesitating, his lips parting as if to say something, but no words came out. Taehyung didn't wait. He stepped forward, his expression breaking into the softest smile, and pulled Jungkook into a tight embrace. The cameras caught it instantly, flashes lit up the room like bursts of lightning. But to those who saw it in person, it wasn't a publicity moment. It was something raw, real. Jungkook closed his eyes as his arms wrapped around Taehyung's shoulders, and Taehyung pressed his face against Jungkook's neck for a brief second, as if grounding himself in that shared warmth. It wasn't long, but it was powerful enough to bring tears to fans' eyes. Within minutes, social media exploded. OMG. Taekook hugged. I'm crying. That wasn't just a hug. That was years of love, trust, and comfort in one moment. CELINE Paris show turned into an emotional reunion. I can't stop shaking. Armies across the globe flooded timelines with clips, slow-motion edits, and emotional messages. The hug became the most replayed moment from the CELINE after-show, surpassing even the celebrity highlights. To understand why that hug carried so much emotional weight, one must look back to the very beginning. Jungkook and Taehyung's journey began long before the glamour of Paris or the flashing lights of high fashion. Back in 2013, they were just two teenagers trying to navigate the pressure of debuting under big hit entertainment. Jungkook, the shy and talented magne, often found comfort in Taehyung's spontaneous laughter and mischief. Taehyung, with his boxy smile and artistic soul, treated Jungkook not just as a younger member, but as a little brother. They trained, struggled, and celebrated together. Over the years, their chemistry, both on stage and off, became one of the most talked about bonds in BTS. From sharing hotel rooms during tours to comforting each other in emotional interviews, their connection grew stronger with time. Fans loved how they balanced each other. Jungkook's reserved strength and Taehyung's free-spirited warmth created a beautiful symmetry. But fame, as always, has a cost. As BTS grew into global icons, the members began exploring solo careers and naturally, distance formed. They appeared in different schedules, recorded separate music, and sometimes didn't interact publicly for months. ARMYs noticed the silence, and for a fandom that cherishes every detail, the absence felt heavy. When Taehyung attended fashion events alone in Paris earlier that year, fans wondered, where's Jungkook? Will he show up? No one expected that their reunion would happen like this. Not in a concert, not on a BTS stage, but in the heart of Paris Fashion Week, under the glow of CELINE's golden lights. To the untrained eye, it might have just looked like a simple hug. But to ARMYs, And to those who have followed their journey for years, it was a symbol of reassurance. Taehyung and Jungkook's embrace wasn't scripted. It wasn't a performance. It was a quiet moment between two people who had grown together, stumbled together, and learned to rise again. Behind the scenes, witnesses reported seeing Jungkook whisper something softly to Taehyung after the hug, words that made Taehyung smile, his eyes glistening under the dim light. No microphones caught what was said, but that mystery only deepened the emotion for fans. Some believe Jungkook said something like, "I missed you, Hyung." Others think it was simply, "You did amazing." Whatever it was, it didn't matter, because the feeling was enough. Later that night, Taehyung posted a story on Instagram, just a photo of the Paris skyline with no caption. Jungkook, hours later, posted a black and white clip of him walking backstage. Fans couldn't help but notice the subtle synchronicity, the same hour, the same energy, as if they were silently communicating through images. The emotional ripple effect spread across the internet. Korean news outlets, Western media, and even fashion publications mentioned it. The CELINE hug became a trending phrase. Fashion journalists called it the most human moment of Paris Fashion Week. Armies made edits, art, and emotional montages, pairing the scene with soft music, creating something timeless. When the show ended, the glitter faded and the flashes stopped, but the echoes of that single hug refused to die. The CELINE afterparty was filled with chatter, designers congratulating each other, stylists exchanging praises, celebrities laughing over champagne. Yet amidst all that, the name on everyone's lips wasn't the brand. It was Taehyung and Jungkook. Inside the dimly lit lounge, where the golden lights reflected off the mirrors, Jungkook and Taehyung sat side by side, quietly. They didn't talk much. They didn't need to. According to one attendee, the two shared small smiles and glances, occasionally laughing at something only they could understand. There was no grand performance, no attempt to draw attention, just the comforting familiarity of old friendship reborn in silence. Taehyung leaned back, his arm resting casually on the couch, his head tilted slightly toward Jungkook, as if the world around them didn't exist. Jungkook, on the other hand, looked calmer than he had in months, his posture relaxed, his expression soft. For years, their friendship had been tested by fame, personal growth, and the unavoidable distance that comes with stardom. But here they were again, side by side, no longer just idols, but men who understood the weight of time and the value of connection. One of the stylists later shared anonymously. They didn't speak much, but there was this peace around them. You could tell they missed each other. It felt like watching brothers finally come home. That single statement went viral on social media, amplifying the emotional storm already sweeping through ARMY fandoms worldwide. The hug video became the most shared moment in the fashion world for weeks. Within 24 hours, hashtags like Taekook, CELINE Paris, and Jungkook Taehyung dominated Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Fan pages translated news articles in multiple languages: Korean, English, Japanese, Indonesian, Spanish, making the reunion a global emotional event. On YouTube, fan edits began to appear, slow-motion compilations of the hug, set to soft music like BTS's Magic Shop or Still With You. Some edits even intertwined flashbacks, their laughter from variety shows, old backstage moments, and concert hugs, with the CELINE moment. It felt as though time had looped. One ARMY from Brazil tweeted, "I cried watching them. It wasn't just a hug. It was 10 years of friendship in 1 second. You can't fake that kind of emotion." Another from South Korea wrote, "Taekook have been through the same pain, the same joy, the same dreams. Seeing them together again feels like healing for all of us." The wave of emotion spread even to people outside the BTS fandom. Fashion insiders wrote articles praising the authenticity of the moment. Vogue Paris called it the emotional highlight of Fashion Week, while Harper's Bazaar Korea described it as a reunion that transcended celebrity. For many fans, that hug symbolized something deeper, that no matter how far the members of BTS go individually, the bond between them remains unbreakable. In the days following the CELINE event, fans began noticing something subtle. Both Jungkook and Taehyung seemed more peaceful. Jungkook, who had recently finished his solo performances, appeared in a relaxed live stream days later.